Day one of winter testing in Jerez, and Jenson Button finished on top of the timesheets. That's despite having to sit out much of the morning. More on that later. Also, Nico Rosberg. His day ended early after just 14 laps. We'll hear from both of them later. But first, the day began with a car launch for Marussia.
There's a lot new on, it's completely brand new car, new concepts, and a lot of carryover from what we learned over the last 3 years. So, quite excited about this new car. If you look, certainly the treatment of the exhaust, the Coanda exhausts, and a lot of packaging, and of course the main thing is one of the main things is the car's got KERS on it, which we haven't run in the last few years. So it's a totally different set of dimensions, and it's just a brand new package, and a new colour scheme as well to go with it.
Max, you're probably the most eager of everybody here. What is it like today? What does it feel like today? Obviously, coming up from GP2, this is your first season in Formula One racing.
Yeah, it's a big day. The press, there's a lot more of it. There's a lot for a test. This is just, for me, crazy. There's so many people here, but to get one car on the grid is a lot of people's work. So that's why it's so important that today goes well and we get some really good sessions in throughout the 4 days testing. Not quite sure. Something just gave way, so we'll have to see.
It's not kind of the ideal start, really.
It's the car was going well until that point, so something we'll have to just see what the problem is.
Fuel pump failure, which isn't great because it's really quite a big scene to get it changed, but no, I guess that's what testing's about. You'd rather not have it, but on the other hand you'd rather have the problems here than obviously later in testing or at a race weekend. So no, a fuel pump failure, and a reasonable scene for the guys to sort it.
And what are you hoping to achieve from this testing, this first week of testing here?
Well, like everyone, the car that we're testing here isn't actually the car we're going to race. You're going to test mechanical systems like fuel systems. You're going to start to get a feel, to get the team working on, really working with this car. So the car's going to evolve. We're going to be living with it now until December. So it's an exciting time when you start to learn its potential, how to work with it, how to exploit it. Inevitably, things will get a bit hotter as we move to Barcelona in week 9. An important test, and one where all of the teams will bring some of their final upgrades before Australia.
Sergio Perez gets in the car for you tomorrow for a run around on the track. What have you been doing with him over the winter?
No, he's been working very hard. He's been training. He's been working with the engineering team, working in the simulator. So I think he's been surprised by the intensity of that program. So I think he's enjoyed it. Obviously, it's been great so far. We've enjoyed working together. We're in the honeymoon period at the moment. I think the relationship between he and Jenson, I think, is great at the moment. They haven't raced each other in the same team yet, but they're really working hard together. Jenson's obviously got all that confidence, all that experience, and clearly Checo's got a lot of hunger. They're working absolutely great, but inevitably when we get to Australia, when they pull out the garage, they'll want to beat each other, and that's how we like to run our team. I think we can keep a healthy dynamic and a healthy competition. These things don't always go to plan. They can boil over, as you know, but I think we've got two really nice guys, balanced guys, competitive, honest and open, so I think it's going to work well, but we'll see.
And we had our issue in the morning, which was disappointing, but it's what happens in testing when everything's new. This afternoon was good. I had a good feeling with the car and felt very at home immediately. I've got the same seat, which makes a big difference. You're not playing around with trying to get comfortable in there, so we could immediately get down to work. There's a nice feeling with the car, and it feels very similar to what I have in the simulator, which is great because it means when we develop the car, we can develop it not just on the circuit, we can develop it in the simulator.
Last season, reliability issues caused problems to the McLaren team, lost a lot of points on it. Any concerns going into this season? Is it something that's really been worked on?
Percentage-wise today, no, it hasn't been good. But it's better to get out of the way now. I'd rather have it on the first day than towards the end of the test or in the season. This is something that we can solve, and it's better to have it now when you don't have the improvements to the car and bolting on the new setup and when you've got all the parts to do proper setup work, you want the car to be running smoothly and running reliably. So hopefully we won't have this issue again, and we can concentrate on just developing the car now.
Your main two rivals look like Red Bull and Ferrari again, would you say?
Wow, I really don't know. I mean, there's so many cars out there that from a distance look good, but you will still have the top teams that have been over the past few years at the front. But as we saw last year, the other teams, the smaller teams that were the smaller teams, can fight with the big teams at the front. And I think Adrian Newey said it's a development race throughout the year. It's not just what you come out with at the first race. And he's obviously correct. He is a lot of the time. I feel that I feel exactly the same.
I'm pretty happy with the car. We have a lot of work still to do, of course, but in general, this is an absolute marathon. We know that, and today we just delivered the baby, so it's just arrived. So a lot of work to do. We got a lot of good information. So the guys at Milton Keynes are working very, very hard. Also Renault doing some good stuff. So we need to keep working hard and work out what's the priorities for the rest of these important few weeks that we have before we get to Melbourne.
Karen not working with you this year, how much does that affect your preparations?
Well, I had a great relationship with Karen. Obviously there was 6 years, so 7 years actually. So he was here when I arrived, and we achieved some really good things together. So of course it would be nice to still have him, but in the end I've always had situations where staff can always change at this level, and Simon is very, very capable. He's world class, obviously, and it's been good working with him today, together with Gav. All three of us are looking to do as much preparation as we can in the testing, because once we go racing, that's when the heat really starts, obviously, when you've got to make quick decisions and you really have the body language towards each other, what you really need in stressful situations. So that's going to, it might take a little bit more time, but in general, Simon's fine, and everyone's going well.
And also, you mentioned the car being an evolution. Do you think that means it's going to be a lot closer this year even than it was last year?
Yeah, I think it will be close. I think that we have many strong teams. We know that. We have the biggest target in the world on our back. We know that. Everyone wants to see Red Bull maybe not do that well, but we're still the same team we were 5 or 6 years ago. We're still obviously big on results, but I believe we're down to earth, and the team is still young at heart, and we're looking forward to a competitive new season.
Well, I think if you compare to last year, it's a completely different planet. I mean, last year, remember, we were struggling a lot to drive the car. It was difficult to keep the car on the track. So this year, the base, on the car is completely different than last year. I mean, the car is much more balanced. I felt a good direction on the rear of the car as well in terms of traction. This is a track that is very difficult on the rear, so degradation is very high. I would say the difference compared to last year is huge. For sure, a relief because this is an indication that you're not gonna lose time, Because last year when we drove the car the first time, I mean, we lost a lot of time. Maybe we lost more than a month of developing, to fix the issue. So I think not having an issue helps for the developing, helps for not losing any time to prepare the car for the first race.
Paul, how was today, and did you achieve everything you wanted?
We did a lot of laps, that's the important thing. It was quite positive. I think we got through the programme. We got the Aero collection, I think, which is ultimately about this test for us, is correlation, understanding the car, and that's our focus. We also did, I think, the most laps out of any car, so in terms of reliability it was good, but forgetting what other people are doing and where you are, I think you can safely say we've carried on as we thought we would. It's just about building together over the next few days when I'm in the car. What
did you feel today, and how did it feel, and does it feel much different from last year's car?
Be giving too much away if I said that. But no, I'm quite comfortable. I think it's we've come here, it's sunny and it's dry, and it's nice to get the car out in anger. There's nothing throwing up that we didn't think was there. As I said, it's all correlation, it's all data collection, I think, at this point. As you get into Barcelona, I think you start to really get the focus on this track's it's a weird one. It's very hard on tyres, and obviously that's our first day driving the new 2013 tyres, so I think ultimately we wanted to learn as much as we could so we can carry that setup into tomorrow and really focus on the areas where we need to work.
Last year it was quite a big change for everybody. It took quite a while to get used to. Are these ones closer to last year? It's not such a big step up.
No, I would say they're quite different, without saying too much. But again, I think Jerez is quite difficult. It's very demanding on them, and you see some strange things here. It's very rough. I think when we saw the Pirelli report earlier on this morning, we were quite surprised how much it's roughened up just in 1 year. So how much of that you'll carry on, but I think it's just about getting ride heights and getting a run sweep through the compounds really ahead of the season.
Nico, first day of 2013 testing. Tell us first of all what brought your testing to a temporary halt.
Electrical problem, a bit of a short circuit, unfortunately. But then it was really unlucky also, because normally something like that can be solved quite quickly. But we put the same thing on again and realized that we would just get the same problem again. So it was more of a fundamental thing which takes a bit more time to solve, which is going to take until tomorrow morning, and then be fine.
Not a big setback though?
Well, that's what we're here for, to learn about these problems. Of course, it's not ideal to lose so much time in the first day, but I also had a lot of positives today because it was really enjoyable to drive in the morning. The car felt very well balanced, and I felt very much at home, and that's a nice feeling.
When you were running, the times looked pretty good, although we shouldn't read anything into times. Did the car give you a feeling that it was more downforce, better grip than last year's car?
For sure, yes, it did, and for sure we have a lot more downforce and better grip than last year. Definitely, the car is a big step forward.
Well, that's excellent news, and good that you can tell so quickly. Normally, it takes a while we get to Barcelona before you find this kind of thing out.
Nope, I know that already now. The thing I don't know is how much the other teams have moved forward.
Good point. Okay.
There's the catch.
So that's how everyone else got on today, but I'm joined now by Nico Hülkenberg, who had his first day in the Sauber. Nico, 79 laps. How was it? Good impression. Nice first day in the office. So yeah, it's been a positive day. And what's it like changing teams? Obviously, you have different settings in the car. You've got a different steering wheel to learn and get used to.
Yeah, I mean, a few new things, a few new faces, but I mean, that's why we're here, on the practical side to get used to that and to get ourselves into good shape so we can go racing.
Any problems at all today for you?
No, actually a pretty smooth day, no reliability issues, and a good day, yeah.
And how would you compare it to the car you drove last year?
It's a different year, cars change every year, so it's an unfair and difficult compare, to be honest.
And everyone's been trying these new Pirelli tyres. Are they very different to last year? They're supposed to be closer than the step you had to make last year when you got getting used to the new tyres.
Again, difficult to answer because Jerez winter testing is pretty cold in the morning. The track was very green this morning when we started, so graining was a bit of a problem. And then Jerez anyway is a bit special. The macro roughness is pretty high here, so difficult to compare to other circuits.
Nico, thank you very much. I know you've got more interviews to do. That's how Nico found his first day here in Jerez. Don't forget, you can catch up with all of Day 2's action live on Sky Sports News. We'll see Lewis Hamilton take his first ride out in the Mercedes, and also Sergio Perez in the McLaren. And you'll be able to see a roundup tomorrow night on Sky Sports F1 HD.